I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence, then let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I can play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me, then I double up again under their nose. None of them cold, they just got lucky but never adapted, so I'm to the one if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close, I let them think that they got me, but what do you know? I had them beat before we ever spoke, I'm ready for smoke. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now they ain't go harder than me, they need a blade in a sheath, a shank in a piece, a crate full of heat, an army, a fleet, a tank and a jeep, a navy at sea, where they a marine, an ace up their sleeve, a team of marines, a freak on a leash, a beast with an appetite, razor for teeth, and still they will lay at my feet. Boy, you got the wrong one. I gotta look over all of my publishing statements for Q1 as soon as the song's done. I gotta call up my mama and tell her I made it as soon as my log's done. I gotta read all my trade publications and sip my tea till it is all done. I think it's all fun. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence, then let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I can play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me, then I double up again under their nose. None of them cold, they just got lucky but never adapted, so I'm to the one if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close, I let them think that they got me, but what do you know? I had them beat before we ever spoke, I'm ready for smoke. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now they ain't go harder than me, they need a blade in a sheath, a shank in a piece, a crate full of heat, an army, a fleet, a tank and a jeep, a navy at sea, where they a marine, an ace up their sleeve, a team of marines, a freak on a leash, a beast with an appetite, razor for teeth, and still they will lay at my feet. Boy, you got the wrong one. I gotta look over all of my publishing statements for Q1 as soon as the song's done. I gotta call up my mama and tell her I made it as soon as my log's done. I gotta read all my trade publications and sip my tea till it is all done. I think it's all fun. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in written signs to let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it go. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go. I came to play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me. Then I double up again under their nose. None of them cold, they just got lucky but never adapted. So I'm 10-1 if it's coming to blows. My enemies cutting it close. I let them think that they got me, but what do you know? I had them beat before we ever spoke. I'm ready for smoke. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George. I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse. I'm ready for war. I'm coming for throats. To turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now they ain't go harder than me. They need a blade and a sheath, a shank and a piece, a crate full of heat, an army, a fleet, a tank and a jeep, a navy at sea with ace, a marine, an ace up their sleeve, a team of marines, a freak on a leash, a beast with an appetite, razor for teeth, and still they will lay at my feet. Boy, you got the wrong one. I gotta look over all of my publishing statements for Q1 as soon as the song's done. I gotta call up my mama and tell her I made it as soon as my log's done. I gotta read all my trade publications and sip my tea till it is all done. I think it's all fun. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George. I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse. I'm ready for war. I'm coming for throats. To turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. I need to know everything, who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new.
I'm here hanging with the boys, man. They're part of the team. Part of the team, man. Can I tell you, part of the team?
Welcome to Tampa Bay. We fuck 'em up when we raise the flag. Fire the cannons and seize the day. The crew's ready, all hands on.
What is up? You are watching the Loose Cannons. I'm your host, Sammer, hanging out with my boy Poppy Latte. And that weird, forget about him. Hey, we've got an awesome guest with us tonight. We've got the one and only, the president of the Arians Family Foundation, and of course, the only and the first inductee in the Loose Cannons Hall of Fame, Jake Arians. Welcome home, brother.
Thanks, boys. Good to see you.
Jake.
What's up, Jake?
Listen, man, we're a quarter through the fucking season. The Bucs are 2-2. We've had some highs, had some lows. Defense looks like we're, Super Bowl champion type defense, and all of a sudden it doesn't 1 week. Pretty inconsistent, up and down type season, man. What are the 2022 Buccaneers as of right now, or do we not know yet, or like what's going on here? 2-2 after 4 games. What are we?
We don't know yet. I mean, we still have the potential of what we've seen a little bit of. When everybody gets 4 weeks of film out there, you start learning, okay, by week 6, who everybody kind of is. Like the Falcons are a perfect example. They've been running this read option, Mariota, Oregon concept and running the crap out of the ball and putting up some points. They've now got 4 weeks of that on film. They've lost a couple of guys on that offense that were really successful, mainly Patterson. Once you kind of give defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, the polar opposite, things tend to change, right? So you can come out with some new stuff from camp. You can come out with new players. You can come out with all this stuff. Once you get 4 weeks of film, things tend to settle down a little bit. You give everybody a chance to kind of see what people are doing. Our biggest issue was 2 awesome road wins to go in Dallas with Dak, who look pretty good now. And that defense looks really good. We handled them fine. Big question marks about the offensive line. Last time I was on, we talked about winning that game. Number 1 pass rush statistically in the league. We handled it pretty well. We weren't very good in the red zone, but we went down, up and down the field on them, scored plenty of points, held them to 3. You go to Saints, get physical, Mike gets thrown out, sparks everybody, come back, and you kind of kick their ass in the second half. That was big. Come home, and you beat yourselves against the Packers. But you did it with the walking wounded. There's nothing left in that offense. Nobody went out there. I mean, guys like Cole Beasley, been there for 3 days, has to play in that game, and you still have a chance to win. You kind of beat yourself. The other night started off ugly. Rashad comes out, I'm screaming at him, take a knee. But he's a young player that's trying to do something exciting for his team in prime time. He fumbles. We're down 7-0 like that. That game gets ugly. Things change. We fight back like we always did. But the best thing about that game was Tom looked like Tom. The offense looked like the offense with Mike and Chris out there. To me, one of the biggest keys to the season moving forward is Rashad White's role in that game. Catching 5 or 6 balls, whatever it was. You could tell Tom seemed to have more confidence in him the way the game went on. He had more confidence catching it, looking upfield, taking a hit, making a guy miss, that kind of stuff. That's going to be key because Lenny can't keep playing 85% of the snaps, guys. And us get where we want to go and have him ready in December, January, hell, even November at this point, the way he's been going. So that's going to be a vital role of Rashad White being able to take a few series here and there, take some snaps away from Lenny, and be productive with those snaps, not just take the snaps away from him, but be good. I think it's a long season. I think the defense has shown how good it can be. I wasn't a huge fan of the game plan the other night or the execution, really, more than anything. To me, the Chiefs' outside receivers aren't very good. Their entire thing is Kelsey. And I didn't like the fact that we weren't at least trying to either, like old school Gronk, bracket cover him, put a guy in, bump and run, and then somebody behind him. Those guys outside didn't scare me. But Mahomes was playing out of his freaking mind. I mean, it's one of those games where he plays that good. They're hard to beat, and we still came back right there. If Tom doesn't, have the sack fumble when we're getting right back in it, and Rashad doesn't fumble early on, it's a completely different game. But put it behind you.
Or the
You
kickoff
lost
out of
two at
bounds
home,
too.
you won 2 on the road. The potential's all there, but like we talk about all the time, guys, in this league, you got to stay healthy. We're finally getting healthy. We've lost a couple guys on defense. Logan Ryan's been playing great. That could be a huge loss moving forward. Hopefully he can play, and that's not something that's going to linger. Akeem Hicks went out. You saw the run. I don't think we're going to give up that many running yards yet. We'll get into that, I'm sure, as we talk about this. But Akeem Hicks getting back in a couple more games is going to be huge. I think we're going to be fine. I think the defense is going to be top 5 in the league. And I think the offense has its pieces. It's right there, top 5, top 6 in the league as well, which means you get back to scoring 28, 30 points a game like they've done for 3 years.
Jake, somebody in the chat here, I don't know what I'm looking at. Obviously, you know more and Pops and stuff. What are your thoughts through 4 weeks on the left guard position on Gadecki? Because I've seen some ups, some downs, but I don't know what I'm looking at. What are your thoughts on him so far?
Solid, but there's growing pains. He's a rookie. He's not going to replace the guy he's replacing. Marpet was a Pro Bowler. I mean, he's an absolute stud. The right side has been phenomenal. Hudson and Wirfs, of course. Donovan back, that's huge. But those guys in the middle, they're going to have some growing pains. Hainsey's held his own, but he's going to have, he's been up and down a little bit too. There's going to be some growing pains with that position, but they've been fine. I mean, Tom's been hit a couple times. That wasn't on any of those guys. That was on Tom as much as anybody else, the sack fumble the other night. But those guys have been fine. We're not running it very good up the middle, and I don't think all of that's on the offensive line either.
Wait.
Ooh. Wait, whoa.
That was my next question. I wasn't going to jump into the defensive side of the ball in terms of them struggling against a run, but aside from the Dallas Cowboy game, we've struggled establishing the run, whatever you want to call it, being effective when we run the ball. I'm not a big fan of, 50-50 pass run ratio. I don't know if Todd is. I know BA really, I don't know. I feel like he wasn't. It was more about being effective when you did choose to run it. But when we've chosen to run it outside of that first game, it hasn't really been effective. Maybe a little bit in the Saints game, but for the most part, we've seemed to be out-physicaled on the offensive line, which is something that's not something we were accustomed to since BA's been here. And since we've had this coaching staff, we've been a pretty physical team up front to where we're not getting manhandled. But it looks like we can't even muster up 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and 2. It's just like, it seems like we're not going to make this if we run it. What's happening? I don't care
how much you run it. You have to be able to run it when you need to run it, when you want to run it. That makes sense. I don't care if you come out and throw it out of the shotgun on 1st down and run it on 2nd, put you in short yardage on 3rd down. I mean, Byron's taking a ton of heat for running it a lot on 1st down. They're trying to establish the run, and the statistics aren't near as bad as the fans and freaking Twitter's making it out to be. But it could be different. You could easily go with some play action on that same thing, come back and run it again. You have to be able to run it when you need and want to run the ball. It's early in the season. They're trying to figure that out. There's new offensive linemen, which way they want to go. The tight ends have been good. Getting Otten back was big. He went through personal tragedy, losing his mom, which was awful. It's great to have him back. Coe was freaking a stud the other night. Big catch for him. That's got to add a ton of confidence for him and for Tom when he's in there. I think they need to figure out exactly what this offensive philosophy is going to be. And maybe it's a little bit different of let's play, really good defense. Let's run the ball a little bit more. I don't think that's really us if we're healthy. I think we're going to be, Tom. We have Tom Brady. You have Mike and Chris. Gage has been good. Whoever that 4th guy is, every week has been different. That group can put up 30 points a game like it's done for the last 3 seasons. I think we get back to that, but they got to be healthy to do it. How much that continues to be a part of the running game, Lenny could be better as well. Lenny needs to hit the right hole. That's an issue with Lenny a lot, but he's played a ton of snaps.
What
He's
holes?
being very physical. I love to see that because he's not always the most physical guy for 250 pounds. He gets a little choppy feet sometimes. I love that he's running people over and trucking people. That's to me one of the biggest differences for him this year, and compared to years past, is being very physical. But we'll see. I think that's one of those things that needs to evolve. I think the passing game, when we're healthy, is there. You saw that the other night.
Jake, this offense is missing Gronk, in my opinion. I mean, it doesn't seem like we're attacking.
Every team in the NFL is missing the greatest tight end of all time.
What I'm trying to say is we haven't attacked the middle of the field.
You are coming in strong.
Nobody
coming in strong.
We brought in Julio to replace those catches.
Bold analysis,
right?
He hasn't been
Julio
healthy.
Plays outside.
Right. Okay, so nobody is replaced. Nobody's attacking the middle of the field. It's all outside.
Godwin was in the middle of the field.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Mike Evans' first 25-yard catch was right between the hash marks down the seam the other night. That's a shot. For 2 weeks before that, we didn't have anybody healthy enough to go down the middle of the field. It's only been 4 games. So you have Dallas, and you have the other night, and you saw it the other night. I think they're going to get more creative, moving Mike around. Julio is not healthy. He tried to go out and play. He was on, he played 17 plays?
Yeah.
Had 1 target. He's not healthy. Julio is not a guy that can go out there if he's not 100%. I think sit him down and just make it work with those other guys. We win a lot of damn games with just Mike and Chris and a tight end that's learning and creating that. The other thing is Tom doesn't like doing things he's not comfortable with. So if he hadn't thrown it to Cade Otton down the middle in the seam and got that chemistry yet, when he does, I think we'll start seeing more of it. I think they can get creative when Julio is healthy, learning to play inside, bringing him in motion, kind of a playing in the slot. I'd love to see Russell Gage and Julio healthy enough that we could go 4 wide. That would be a ton of fun because now you got all 4 can play inside, all 4 can play outside. I don't know how the hell you cover that. You're playing zone and that's it. Now you can run it. So you're going to play 2 high safeties. You can run it out of that spread out. That'll be interesting. We got to get healthy enough to do that. I think that'll be a nuance of the offense that we see moving forward. But no, I mean, every offense that loses somebody like Gronk, and I don't think he's coming back. So I think we just move on to let's play with the guys we got.
Yeah. Neither is Sue.
We're going to miss that.
Neither is Sue, by the way. We can stop.
Sue retired. Sue had a contract offer out there. By the way, Akeem Hicks is a better player. He just can't stay healthy. It's his whole thing. Like you play Chicago the last 3 years. We talked about it last time I was on. The first thing you do is say, is he healthy and is he playing? Because if he is, shit, he's a freaking beast. He's got to get back on the field.
I mean, so him not being on the field, is that kind of shifting the focus to that defensive side? Is that why we can't stop the run? Is it the fact that there's nobody big enough to grab the attention from Vita, where Vita's just getting double teamed at this point, and now it's just about
in triple team in some cases.
The guys behind him
always get double teamed. Vita's not playing very well.
And is it about the guys behind him
not playing
fitting?
like Vita?
But what about the guys behind
now.
him?
It's
Vita
the same guys.
Stopped. Well, that's what I'm saying. Are they not fitting their responsibility, their gaps? Like it seems like there's just not gaping holes, but they're overpowering us when it comes to running the ball. And then sometimes
we're
we are
all
missing
so
tackles.
spoiled as Bucs fans. Well, the way that we stop the run is nothing. Like literally, you give up 2 yards, and we're like, "What? What are we doing on defense?"
Pretty much.
So, like literally, for 3 years, and you go back to Todd and the defense we had in Arizona, it was the same thing. We're always top 5 against run. So, like the other night, we're giving up 4 before contact, and it's an 8-yard run. And you're like, "Holy shit! Like, what are we doing?" We gave up a little bit against Dallas. Now you got to keep in mind, we're playing with 3 safeties. We're playing in a nickel defense, which changes that front a little bit. I don't think Vita has played up to his standard. And that I hold him to a very high standard. But Golston's been good. Nacho's been really good. Those same guys are up there. Tryon, God bless him, plays super hard and with a freaking motor that I love. But he gets out of position. He did it the other night. He let Mahomes get out of the pocket by collapsing and not having integrity in his rush lanes. That kind of stuff has been there. But we're talking about 1 game. And the whole thing was ugly. I don't think, like I said, the game plan was whatever it was. I don't know how hard. I mean, the guys played hard, but like it was ugly. They got hit in the mouth. But if you said
it, they were getting 8-yard gains, 4-yard additional yards after contact. It's like they were, they had lead in their boots out there, man. It just didn't. They weren't attacking. They weren't tackling. It was ugly.
Or they were attacking too much and overrunning things and giving up. Pacheco was a beast. 215, runs 4.3. He runs every down like it's the last time he's ever going to carry the ball in the NFL. He was a son of a bitch the other night. He was good. So was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's been really good for them all year. But if you go back and look, that was the only game in 3 years that our defense has done that. Now move forward to this week against Atlanta. Carlton's healthy. He's matching up Drake London. We're covering Kyle Pitts. They don't throw it very much anyway, and you're loading up to stop the run. I don't necessarily think you're going into this game having to play that 3 safety look, Antoine down the nickel, especially with Logan Ryan being injured, and you're loading up to stop the run. Without Patterson, that's huge. Algiers is a big dude. From BYU, the rookie's like 250 pounds. He's going to run it hard. And they've had some success, but that doesn't scare me. I think the worst thing for Atlanta was us giving up 180 yards rushing last week, knowing that we're going back to set the tone on this is what we do on this defense. This is how we start this defense. Everything starts and finishes with stopping the run, playing man from there. Like we played zone the other night. We didn't man them up. We didn't blitz very much to the second half. I think we went in with a lot of the same game plan from the Super Bowl, but our front four didn't get there. I mean, Shaq talked a lot of shit. He was non-existent. Jamel talked a lot of shit going into that game. He's been really freaking good this year, by the way. Jamel, healthy, is a beast. But there was a lot of talking going on from that defense. They had a lot of confidence, and they got humbled.
How bad did we miss Logan Ryan in that game?
The game was over by the time he got hurt. I mean, he wasn't doing anything before he went out.
Yeah.
He's been great for 3 weeks before that. And it really allows us. Antoine on the nickel is a beast, especially in teams we feel like we can blitz because he's so good at blitzing, really good in the box against the run. Keanu Neal came in and played good the other night. He had a couple big tackles. He's a stud when he's healthy. But Logan Ryan, you have so much player flexibility with those 3 safeties in there. They're all good in space. They're all good in the box. They can all cover in the slot. 2 or 3 of them can go deep. I mean, you got a lot of player flexibility when they're all 3 in there and healthy.
So what you're saying, Jake, is after 4 weeks, that defensive performance the other night, you'd consider, for the most part, a fluke? Is that, or is it one of those things where the team was kind of starting to feel itself defensively? I personally thought they came in thinking, we did this to them in the Super Bowl, no big deal, we'll do it again. And they kind of just, maybe they were feeling themselves a little bit too much. And I think, is this one of those games that helps that, like you said, you get humble and maybe it helps them long term? Last time we lost to the Chiefs.
This is Brady year 1 Chicago. When he lost his shit, like, what the fuck is going on?
Similar to that. Because it felt like they were feeling themselves.
Yeah, a little bit of both. They were feeling themselves. They got humbled big time on national TV, give up 41 points, all those yards, all those rushing yards. They look like shit. And they're really, they're top 5 defense. They were top defense in the league going into the game. I think you see a lot of that bouncing back. Like you saw San Francisco looked awful. Their defense didn't look awful, but they looked awful as a team in Denver, who's average at best, and then looked like world beaters against the Rams the other night. D'Amico Ryans did a phenomenal job changing that up, blitzing for a team that hardly ever blitzes. They look phenomenal against the Rams. I think you see that kind of bounce back performance from our defense. I think it was a little bit of both. They were feeling themselves a little bit. They got humbled. I would expect them to come back and have a big performance.
But on top of that, it was a pretty fucking rough week for everybody.
Well, yeah.
Them traveling.
Yeah, I'm not in the excuse making business.
Yeah, I know you're not, but you're not going to say it, but I will.
No, look, you get displaced and you're worried about your family and you're taking dogs and families to Miami, and it was a hard, crazy week. I'm not going to deny that, but I'm not in the excuse making business that is why that game went like that.
I don't think.
Listen, everybody's mindset. Everybody's mindset on that team, like Jake said. I mean, and I speak for all of us. I received some messages as well from friends and people within the team, like, hey, get the fuck out. Like, what are you doing? Because you were worried, man. You're worried about friends. You're worried about family. You're like Jake said, you're fucking loading up your dogs and your animals and you're headed to Miami. It's no excuse, but a little bit of a awkward, different situation. I was shaking my head and smiling earlier, by the way, Jake, because when you said D'Amico Ryans when I was watching that game, I'm fucking old, bro. Because every time they said D'Amico Ryan, I'm like, yeah, where's he on the field? Oh, wait, he's a coach now. I'm fucking old, bro.
Bro, I'm so old.
I remember him playing. Golly. Every time I said D'Amico Ryan, I'm like, yeah, where? Oh, wait, he didn't make a play? He's calling the plays. I'm fucking old.
But speaking of them, though, one of the differences is Nick Bosa looks like the superstar that he is. He's 30 pressures. Like the next closest guy is like 21.
Didn't he have like 11 in that game by himself? Just the other night?
Yeah, like they had 23. Like they were in, like the Rams' offensive line looks really bad. You're talking about our offensive line has issues. They got issues.
Yeah.
But if you're paying an end, we're paying one. Shaq was good with the pressures, but I haven't seen the sacks, the sack fumbles, the big hits. Tryon needs to get in there, get them loose. Now they're coming around the edges. Devin had a lot of success blitzing the first 3 weeks. We didn't do a lot of it the other night. That game got ugly, so it kind of got us out of what we probably wanted to do. I would expect a lot of that stuff coming back, a lot of exotic stuff, a lot of blitzes, Vita coming back on the edge. You know, a lot of the stuff that we've done, and we're healthy enough to do it on defense. I would expect a big bounce back performance from them. And offensively, Atlanta's got some young players on defense, man. Like they could be 4-0. They're up 26-10 against the Saints in the fourth quarter and blow that game.
There you go, Jake.
They're down by 24 to the Rams on the road the next week, and they come all the way back with a chance to win it and can't. Then they go to Seattle and win. They come back and beat Cleveland, who's damn good on paper. Jacoby Brissett's been playing pretty good. They got some young defensive guys. You know, Grady Jarrett's a stud on that defensive line. They're nothing to take lightly, but I think it's a great opportunity for our offense 2 weeks in a row to have the same guys out there. We talk about all the time, continuity, having the same guys. Last time I was on the show, we're talking about Tom has to feel comfortable Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Even though Tom didn't practice today, he's out there with the mental reps. He's watching who's there. He's going to get his reps the next 2 days. He has to see those guys consistently. And we're going to get that 2 weeks in a row. I think the offense will look completely not different because they looked damn good the other night. Tom threw for what? He had the 338. He had the highest, most yards in the league this weekend.
There are your flowers, McFadden. I got a friend of mine in the chat who's a UPS driver. He's watching the show from the truck right now. Not while he's driving. Everybody relax. But he's a huge Falcons fan. They're your flowers, bro. Me and him talked at length about it. The Falcons are scrappy, man. They are scrappy. They fucking fight to the last fucking minute. They play hard.
Cordell Patterson has been an absolute stud for 2 years.
That's
them.
huge.
That's a big loss.
He hurt us last year.
He did.
He's a stud. Catches it. He's 230 pounds and still runs 4.40. He's like 6'3". Like he's a monster. But he catches it great out of the backfield. He is a stud. That's a big loss. Now you got a rookie in there. Like I said, he's a big dude and he runs hard. And they got some other guys. Drake London's been really good for them since he came back. He was injured in preseason, injured early in the season. Been really good for the last couple of weeks. Kyle Pitts has been, you know, we talk about fantasy when we got our league. Kyle Pitts has been a no-show. But that doesn't
Kyle
matter.
Pitts. I got him in 2 leagues.
I am in 3 leagues.
What the fuck, Kyle Pitts?
I mean,
I know better. I know better than to draft a tight end who's receiving passes from Marcus fucking Mariota. I mean, come on. This ain't.
That's part of it. They don't throw it a lot. He doesn't throw it great, but that doesn't mean you fuck around and not pay attention and he gets behind you.
They throw it more than Justin Fields 11 fucking times.
Okay.
What the hell was that?
Hey,
they're
doing something there. But I was gonna say, this is my opinion. This is a get right game. I don't want to call it a must win, but this is one of those games that's like
the next 3 are get healthy, get right, have easy wins,
beat the fuck out of the opponent,
shit, cut out the penalties, cut out the turnovers, get the turnovers, put your foot on their throat, and win games you're supposed to win, and win them by 10, win them easy. The next 3 are like that. It starts this weekend. It's a divisional game, and like I said, they're playing scrappy. They're playing different. It's unique. I'm glad we're not playing them week 2. This read option, this run game that they got going, they've got some really tricky, unique stuff they're doing in this running game that's been good.
I mean, Tom's just holding back right now. I heard they were practicing the read option the last 4 weeks for this game, man. Tom's going to come out there and just fucking light it up. You have no idea, Jake. This whole rotator cuff nonsense, it's bullshit. All right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to run the wing T. They're going to run their wing T this week.
We talk all the time. Tom and I are the same age. We were at the combine together. Played against Tom 21 years ago. I didn't want to take that damn hit he took the other night. Jesus. He got back up like a freaking champ, man. Everybody's worried. He's still a stud, man. That was a big time freaking hit. And yeah, he's sore and whatever else, but he threw the ball for like 300 yards after that hit.
He threw the ball today, though. He was not supposed to, but I guess he couldn't help himself.
Look, Tom's going to do whatever Tom wants to do to get ready for the game. You know that.
Exactly. Can we address something because they keep talking about it in the chat? None of us on here can confirm. Well, maybe not. Maybe one of us, but 3 of us cannot confirm or deny whether OBJ is coming to visit Tampa.
He's coming,
and it doesn't matter anyways because he won't be effective or available until at minimum week 8.
OBJ is coming, y'all.
I can't say. I mean, Von Miller said he's going to go see the Bucs and some other Saints and some other teams. Look, that's all well and good. If he's not playing until after week 10, I don't think we could afford him. He ain't coming for free. He's not coming cheap. He's not taking a pay cut to come play with Tom Brady. Bucs fans have gotten really spoiled and really funny the last 3 years with any damn name that's out there. If we don't get them, then the front office did something wrong.
But you know what the problem is, though,
Jay? You keep saying no. You keep saying we can't afford them.
We go get them. That's the problem.
You keep saying we can't afford them. We have here's one name, Mike Greenberg. We can afford him. He's gonna find a way.
Listen, that whole salary cap, that
Brady
shit is
the
Mickey
best
Mouse,
in the
dude.
business, but he's gonna have to get creative to make enough money.
Salary cap is Mickey
That's
Mouse
what we do.
calculator. It's not real.
I'm only laughing because they're like, there's no way.
Mhm.
AB, let that shit's mad that we get AB. Lenny, there's no way. And they just keep
Latte,
I'm not saying they're not spoiled for a reason.
Listen, Latte.
Yeah,
listen.
no, I know.
Spoiled and expect everybody. Is there a chance? Yeah, there's a chance. I think there's a good chance. He said he wanted to play with Tom.
He's supposedly not going to be healthy until Thanksgiving. My birthday's kind of right around Thanksgiving. Jason and I are pretty fucking close.
Your best friend is Jason.
He's like, I mean, what better gift to get your best friend who you coined the fucking Godfather? Well, I mean,
Bro, did you not
OBJ?
see them together on the sidelines in New Orleans, bro? They were looking into each other's eyes. That shit's real.
You weren't
It's
here,
kind-
but
Let's
we
be
broke
honest
down.
for a
We broke down the embrace and how they locked eyes. That shit, get the fuck out of here, man. He's a buck. He's already fit
They were
for his
already,
computer.
they were already communicating, bro.
It's in there,
you see
dude.
his hand signals?
That's
You see the
all
hand
well and
signals?
good. He said for a long time he wants to play with Tom. Which OBJ are we getting? The one that was absolute horseshit in Cleveland, the most overrated dude ever, for like 3 years?
Oh, no.
Or the guy that had
That
a
was
little
the
bit of
quarterback,
resurgence
Jake.
last year,
That was the
wasn't very good
quarterback.
all year, and then went off in the playoffs.
I want the one from the Super Bowl.
We're getting him.
Well, that dude tore his ACL in the
I
Super
said
Bowl.
pre-injury,
So which guy
Jake.
are we getting? We all want this dude. We want to pay a ton of money for him.
I don't
By
want
the
him.
way,
I'm telling
you're
you,
coming
my
off an
birthday is
ACL.
coming
Jake,
up. and
we're
I
talking
know.
about hold on. We're talking about OBJ as our wide receiver 4. Okay,
Five.
We'll take
Five.
it. We'll take
Five.
it.
Look, by the time we get to week 10, he might be wide receiver 1 with all the damn injuries.
Whoa, calm down, bro. Scotty
Knock
Miller's
on
still
wood.
on this team.
No.
Scotty Miller is
Shut up.
still on this team. How
Shut up.
fucking
Might
dare
not be
you?
if we get OBJ.
How dare you.
Shut up,
How
Stank.
dare you.
The wide receiver one,
that's-
Scotty Miller talk. No more. Stop.
Listen. So everybody else is allowed to have a rough start to the season, but Scotty's not? No,
Nope.
bullshit.
Nope.
Bull fucking shit.
Nope.
What is
Nope.
rough
Not
start
with
to
By
the
the way,
He's
can we
going out to do
address
what he's
something
doing.
for stupid fans just because Scotty's white doesn't make him a slot receiver?
I didn't say he was.
Not Cole
Never did.
Beasley,
Never said
and
he
they're
was.
not interchangeable, even though Cole
Listen, I'm
retired
playing the
today?
meme. I'm playing the meme. Okay,
That
we
is
all
the
know
dumbest-
Tom has a
No.
type. We all know Tom has a type. That's all I'm saying.
If
Also-
Beasley
Also-
didn't
freaking
retire,
also-
Beasley's his
For the
type.
people out there, that said Beasley retired, good. Now we can go get Jules. Julian Edelman is trolling. Like he has no more cartilage left in his knee.
Why do we
He
want
has no knee left.
these geriatric dudes that can't pass a
Thank
physical
you.
or don't want to play and aren't
Thank
even
you.
trying to play?
He doesn't try. He's trolling everyone. Like he doesn't want because he went out there. He's like, I didn't get a call.
Listen,
He can't
they
play,
need-
guys.
They need
He's
to
done.
they need to make a trade. All right, we need Robert Woods on this fucking squad. all right?
Ew, no, I don't want that guy.
Bring him
What?
in.
I'd rather have that guy that Arizona
Why
just
would
cut.
they trade Robert Woods when their rookie just got hurt and is out for a month?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. He's
And
not
we're-
getting
what-
used. It's time. It's time. Jake,
Just
we're
let
in
Jake-
fantasy
Jake
land
is
right now.
trying to make
We're in the
some-
fantasy
Is this
world.
a fantasy show, or are we talking about like real life football? Because this is getting stupid.
That's why we're having fun with it, dude. I see how much this annoys you, and you've let me see that.
But this isn't fun. We have great friggin' players. They got to be healthy. Why do we need anybody else?
We don't, man. We're just fucking around.
We don't.
Listen, we
I
didn't
don't
drop
give
that
a
rumor.
shit. After
Lu-
we got
the loose
Chris and we got
cannons-
Mike.
The loose cannons
I
didn't
don't care
report
who's
that
3 and
OBJ is
4.
interested.
They can rotate every week for the next
Thank you.
12 weeks if those two are healthy.
Here's a
We'll win lot
here's
of
a
games.
positive, Jake. Here's a positive, Jake. It was good, and I saw a lot of people bitching because that's what Bucs fans do apparently nowadays. They just bitch. They bitch about everything.
We've
Bitch
always
if-
bitched. We bitched during the
Bitch,
Super
we
Bowl
score
season.
Too much, bitch. We don't score enough,
No,
bitch.
you
we give up
bitched.
too many points, bitch. We didn't.
Not me,
They
bro.
just
I don't
like
know
to
what you're
bitch.
talking
Shut the fuck up. Just bitch. They bitch because Godwin got banged up. I actually like it, Jake. He got out there. He got hit. He got lathered up. He got in a fucking groove again. I like it. I like that because that is football. It is a contact fucking sport. And to get
love
over
it.
some mental hurdles, you got to go out there and get hit. You got to
I
go
love
across the middle. You got to do what
Coming
Godwin
back
does.
off the ACL, you think you're healthy, you think you're ready to go, but you don't get hit in practice. You haven't been hit in months. He got banged up the other night. He played a lot of plays, played more plays than he was supposed to. He woke up the next day and went, my knee is good.
Mm-hmm.
He took that shot on the goal line. Everybody thought it was his knee. It was like his back locked up because he took a funky shot in like a stinger neck trap area. And he went, okay, I went to the sidelines. I'm good. Like, you got to collect yourself every now. But coming off an injury, the hardest part is not physical. It's mental. Am I the same guy that I was before? And I think the other night was a huge step in the right direction for him. Because what I was about to say about OBJ is you got these guys coming off ACLs, and yeah, you might be healthy for a game, and you might be okay. Just like Chris tweaked his hamstring in week 1. Fluke thing, maybe it didn't have anything to do with it. Maybe it did. Maybe he was playing a little harder than he practiced the entire preseason. It's a game. You step up your game a little bit. So you get a guy back, he plays a week, he misses a couple weeks. I think whoever gets OBJ is going to be dealing with that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not like he has the best injury history ever going forward. His past is riddled with it. He never played a full season in his entire career. Never played more than 14 games. So who are you getting? What are you getting? I mean, we got those other two guys healthy. I agree with you, Poppy. I mean, I think it's huge for Chris mentally to get over that hurdle and take some shots and play in that game like that.
Chris is a dog. Anybody who questions Chris is a moron.
But it felt like he's been waiting for that. Like, you could tell he wasn't comfortable, even in Dallas. And then, obviously, he missed a couple games. And then you got to get that. We had Yo Murphy come on the show. He trains these guys all the time, and he was saying guys that come back from these injuries, they're wearing those sleeves, they're wearing those things all throughout practice and stuff. They're not really practicing. He said one of the first things that happens is they either tweak a hamstring, they tweak a little bit of an ankle, something like, because they're not used to giving 100% on that leg yet, and it just happens because that muscle's not getting its full off season like usual. So I
talk about guys in fantasy all the time. Never draft a running back coming off an ACL.
Says that shit.
First year, never. Second year, fine. Those are one dude. It's Adrian Peterson's ever been the same in year one. Look at Saquon 2 years later. You're just not the same coming off that first year. You just don't have the same ability in that leg. Receivers, a little bit different. Corners, a little bit different. They come back and be a little bit different guys, but you're still dealing with other stuff that lingers. And hopefully Chris is kind of past it. It wouldn't surprise me if he still has some stuff that lingers, that's up and down, that he's dealing with, for the next month. And then hopefully he can be past that. But
is there something I think Yo Murphy said it. Is there something to like you're coming off an ACL, and because of the ACL, you're overcompensating with the other leg or other stuff, which is why you're more,
it's like that with every injury.
Pulling. Yeah.
Yep. Every injury. Yeah. You because you're not letting it go 100%, because up here you don't know that you can. You got to get past it. Have a game like that to get past it.
The other thing about Chris is that
I'll
get to one little note. It's just one little note. We haven't really thought about it much, but he's a big part of our run game. When he's in there, he's on the end. He's usually chipping. He's a big physical receiver and big physical presence and part of that scheme. And I think we've not even thought about that as why we've struggled maybe.
That guy is vital to that. That's a great point, Sam. That guy, that position, if you go back to Hines Ward, Reggie Wayne, Larry Fitzgerald, when he went in the slot, guys that are willing to do the dirty work and block is vital to that run game and that offense as a whole, and all the things you can do off of that. Fake block, spin out, all those kind of things. We got to have him out there. He's got to be out there consistently. And then Tom has to see that. And Byron knows he has to be able to count on that, right? I mean, all that stuff goes into having the same guys out there. When you're game planning, again, by the way, we haven't even addressed the 4 teams that we played to start the season.
Yeah.
Like, this was not like the Bears being freaking 2-2 or the Giants being 3-1. Like this was a brutal start to the year. Should have beat the Packers, beat yourselves. We talked about some of that stuff, but like when you have the same guys out there every week, man, it's so hard to realize what you're good at. Do the self-scout portion, because you're just trying to get a healthy body in there to run the plays that you think you can get away with the other guys that you have.
Yeah, that's a good point. The other thing too, like you mentioned, is the stuff that Chris does off making it look like he's going to block, coming in motion. We saw it in the Green Bay game. Tom was telling those guys where to move and then where to fucking motion, as he's never had to do that with Chris. Chris knows that shit. Chris knows why all that shit I think has kind of gone into it. We've never even thought about it, honestly, till just now when I mentioned it. I wasn't even giving any thought to Chris Godwin, part of the run game, part of just all of it, the whole chemistry deal.
Well, who's big enough to do it, right?
Now.
Cole Beasley ain't blocking nobody. He's going to take the spot in the slot. Russell Gage is not healthy.
Scotty Miller.
Scotty ain't blocking nobody. And he ain't in the freaking slot. But who's big enough and physical enough to play that role? Perriman, when he's healthy, but he just missed a game. But Perriman blocks his tail off too when he's in there. Cyril Grayson would block his freaking tail off, and he's not the biggest dude in the world, but the effort would be there. Hopefully something happens, we can get him back on the practice squad, and we need him. He's so good for us last year. Such a good kid, worked his tail off to become what he became last year. I think we'll be fine. But yeah, that's a great point, Sam. We're missing that guy, and that goes back to that consistency, having the right guys out there every week.
That's probably
Listen, we're lucky he's even playing the first 4 games. I mean,
yeah,
the projections where he's going to be, start the season on IR, and he's out there working through it.
Everybody's asking me, Chris Godwin, fantasy. I'm like, don't count on him until Halloween. We've already gotten a ton of production in 2 games.
Yeah.
Tweak the hamstring. I think he's fine. I think that is going to keep ramping up. The pitch count will get higher. how much Tom, relies on him, how much Byron relies on him every week, I think will get greater and greater.
I think it was cool to see what we're constantly trying to remind people of, because people forget what kind of a dog Mike Evans is. I mean, Mike Evans is fucking ridiculous, bro.
We have the two most underrated players in NFL history on the same team.
Levante.
They both should be Hall of Famers, and Mike should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Levante David and Mike Evans are the two most underrated, forgotten guys in maybe the history of the league. You put Levante's stats up against any linebacker, Bobby Wagner, Kuechly, guys that played in this era, they're better across the board. The guy has been an absolute gem his entire career, and Mike's putting up numbers nobody's ever seen. He came in the league the same year as Devontae Adams. Look at the numbers that they put up. I mean, it's insane with multiple different quarterbacks, multiple different coaches. I mean, and now, 3 years of thriving and I mean, 35 games with Tom and 30 touchdowns.
I saw that stat. I was like, Jesus Lord. Me and Sam were talking about it when we get in the green zone. Yeah, when we get in the green zone, it should just literally be like fade to Mike. Just fade to Mike. Just
either first
fucking fade to Mike. People are going to start playing that, and you fake the slate and run
the slant.
Fade and run a slant. But I mean, the thing with Mike is we got to have that complementary piece. If Chris isn't available, we go back to Mike being double. Everybody's going to double him and roll a safety that way anyway. But it's really hard to do when you have a Russell Gage and you have Chris that are healthy, or you got a healthy Julio. You got to have some other bodies on that other side, or you can really roll the defense to Mike. And, then you got to play action. Tom's got to buy some time, and you could hit him like you did the other night. I mean, Mike had a monster game. Like you knew he would coming back off that suspension.
I think they're starting to get, like you were talking about earlier, Rashad White, man, having that guy who can now do things that I don't want to say Lenny can't do them, but I feel like he does some things better than Lenny. When he catches the ball,
it seems better than Lenny.
It seems like he's running forward. I know Lenny's catching. Sometimes he's not facing the fucking line of scrimmage when he's catching the ball.
Lenny catches the dump offs well. He catches it well. He catches the dump offs. He makes stuff happen. Rashad runs routes,
design passing plays, correct.
And the more confidence he gets, the more confidence Tom has in him doing that stuff. It's going to be a vital piece of this offense. Not only just taking the plays for Lenny, so they have to play as many. Then you start adding him in. Okay, run some runs out of the shotgun, run some wheel routes, some different stuff like matchups against linebackers, safeties. He's going to have them, but he's got to have the confidence to do it. I think the other night was huge for his progression moving forward, for everybody's progression, Byron and Tom included, and how much we can count on this kid. They love him in training camp. They loved him in the draft. He's flashed. Now he did it in a game. That's like an injury. It's another mindset for a young player to go, okay, I did it in a game, a big game, national TV, playing the Chiefs. I got some confidence. And I started off the game, handing it over to the other team. To overcome that and play like he did the other night showed me a lot about the kid, man. I'm excited to see what we're going to get out of him.
I'll say it. People can hate on me if they want. I'll say it. Rojo would have tanked mentally. If he did that, it would have been. That's it.
But also the confidence of the coaching staff trusting him not only to go back on the field, but if he's in there, that means there's no Lenny. That means he's picking up a blitz. He's the one who's got to make sure Tom does not die. And they've trusted him. Like, I was surprised to see him week 4 that they trust him enough to be out there with Tom and be, Tom's personal protector. Yeah, that's a big deal. Not only just for us as fans, but him as a guy on the field. It's like, dude, okay, these guys think I know what I'm doing. Take a deep breath. Take a step by. Like, that's huge. I think he's just going to keep, like you're saying, getting more and more touches. And dude, he's fucking dynamic, man. Seeing him fucking move and catch the ball. He doesn't have to look at the ball in. He just knows how to fucking play ball.
He catches it natural. I mean, when he was described to me as a more explosive David Johnson around draft time, I was, wow, okay. You're starting to see some of that. Mm-hmm. He floats really smooth, runs really good routes, catches it very naturally. I think he's going to be a big piece moving forward.
Michael Pless from Real Bucs Talk, friend of the show, has his own YouTube channel and does film breakdowns. Awesome dude. Says, yes, continuity is important. However, the approach on both sides of the field must adjust, need to be a little more aggressive. I think Jake already kind of addressed this. We agree, but we got to get all our guys back.
I don't know about both sides of the field. The defense has been ridiculously aggressive for 3 weeks. They weren't the other night. I said I wasn't a big fan of the game plan. I agree they needed to be more aggressive the other night. That can bite you in the ass. Patrick Mahomes is phenomenal against the blitz. Offensively, they definitely need to be more aggressive. They need to throw it more, throw it on early downs more. But you got to have the pieces and the continuity to do that. To be more aggressive,
right? You can't go out and do that
guys out there. You can't be aggressive just to be aggressive. When Tom had 2 days of practice with Cole Beasley, who just retired and is old and looked terrible. and a bunch of guys that are banged up. Like, you can act like you want to be aggressive with that, and the film might show that, but it's really hard to game plan to be aggressive when you're talking about not trusting the guys that are out there.
Jake, you know Todd Bowles, behind the scenes, behind closed doors, when he has a game like that from his defense where they look like they had to eat some humble pie, maybe they're feeling themselves, how does he take that in the locker room to them? Is he one of those guys that kind of like uses it, bulletin board material, hammers it in? Is he a tough love type of guy? Like, we kind of understand who BA is, but Todd Bowles, like, what is he with the team when they underperform like that? Is he just like, does he get on him?
Todd's former player, won a Super Bowl as a player, right? You got to go back to that mentality. This isn't who we are. We played like shit. Put the new game plan. Let's go be who we are, right? I mean, he's very calm. Sometimes and people think BA is a big yeller and screamer in the locker room. He wasn't either. A lot of it was, this isn't who we are. This is not the way we practice all week. Let's just go do what we do. Put him in check a little bit. Todd's, a soft-spoken guy, but absolutely has the attention of the guys and then commands respect when he walks in and says that stuff. But yeah, it's more of like, okay, we played like shit. We all know it. Here's what we did wrong. Here's what we're going to do this week. Let's get out to practice. We got embarrassed. Let's go be who we are. It's more, it's a long season. There's no point in overreacting and yelling at guys and all that kind of stuff. The bulletin board material. I mean, that's all that stuff's overblown anyway.
Shaq probably.
You think we miss what your dad did in regards to, getting in the refs' ears? I don't see Todd working the refs at all.
I think some of that could have bit BA in the ass throughout the years, to be honest with you. He loves getting in an official's ass, but it wasn't always to the betterment of the team. I mean, sometimes.
Not even sometimes,
Jake, you're like 3 different teams for a decade, and I don't know how much of that was. I think it's just different personalities. Todd does it, he just does it a different way. He's not as animated as out there. He's talking to an official. If he sees something he doesn't like, he's still in their ass. It's just in a different way. I don't think we miss that part of it.
I mean, Tony Dungy
from where we were at. Go ahead, Sammer.
I was gonna say Tony Dungy rarely ever did that either. I mean, every now and then he would kind of cross his arms and be like, "Really?" to a ref, and some of that I don't think matters all that much, honestly. Yeah, I don't know how much of it hurts, doesn't hurt. Remember Mike Evans, when he was younger, he would complain about almost every time he got touched, and eventually started turning into offensive pass interference calls as opposed to defensive pass interference calls. I feel like sometimes all that attention is not a good thing, but I am a huge fan of yelling at people, so I will err on the side of please fucking yell at the refs a little bit.
It's fun. I mean, fans love it, and they want to see that intensity. I'll tell you, to go back to Plessa's point, we need a little more no risk it, no biscuit on this team, to that aggressiveness. Let's take some shots. Let's play action some shots. Let's do some of that stuff. But you got to have the bodies out there to do it, man. Like, I think everybody wants that. I don't think there's that much of a change in philosophy of what's going on. I think it's just hard to do it with the continuity of the guys that have been out there.
Is that some of that, the continuity of the offensive line, being that they didn't really play the preseason? They don't really know exactly what they have in front of Tom, because we were at the game, Latte and myself were like, dude, we used to take a shot or two every quarter. Even if it didn't fucking connect, it didn't matter. We just took a shot, and that was that BA philosophy. We don't see that now. And Stank is the one guy who always says, well, they don't think they can block long enough to allow Tom to take a shot. But I don't think you need that long.
I don't buy into that. I don't buy into that. It's who you're taking the shot to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could do it with Mike.
Mike was out for a game. Chris
aside from games. That, I mean, but
Herman, you took a shot in New Orleans and it succeeded, and you won the game because of it. Like, Scotty hasn't been very good. Cole Beasley can't go deep. There is no Cyril Grayson to take the top off the defense. We took a shot in Dallas to Julio and it paid off.
Yeah, it did.
Like, there has been some, not as much, but like everybody I just mentioned has missed games. And they haven't all been out there together. Like, it's like I said, if we can ever get to where we're healthy, we have 4 wide, and you're playing zone meter, I think you're going to see 4 verticals and all kinds of random shit with shots all over the place. I don't think it's an offensive line issue that they don't trust what's going on. There's still plenty of deep dropbacks. There's still plenty of play action stuff where they're coming. By the way, one of the dumbest things I see all the time is these play action stats. RPOs count as freaking play action. So every time Patrick Mahomes takes a snap and it goes like this, and we all know he's just dropping back, that counts as a play action pass.
Yeah.
So stop with the bullshit of like, we need more play action. Play action's actually play action from under the center with a play fake. And it's not like those stats get so skewed, it drives me freaking crazy.
Like when you can't actually see the ball.
We could do a little bit more of it, but we've called plenty. So I don't think it's an offensive line issue. They don't trust what's going on up there.
Well, last game, we're down, 19 points in the first quarter. You're not going to take deep shots. That's what they're looking for. They're sitting back and dime and nickel and letting you take everything underneath.
You're not going to be able to play action any of it. But I don't think
that's what I'm saying.
Could have played any better the other night. They started off slow, but
no, I mean more of what I'm talking
points,
about.
Tom. We've averaged 31 points for 3 years. We averaged it in the playoffs. We hit it in the Super Bowl. That's the number. I don't know that we're quite there, and the philosophy might change a little bit. That we're looking at more 28, but the offense couldn't play better the other night. Tom got hot, played great. We saw all of our guys be our guys. I think that's a benefit moving forward. But the game dictated that we kind of had to do that. I don't like that we started that slow. I don't like that we started with that many runs on first down. I don't like a lot of that stuff. But it happened, and we got to learn from it and move forward. I think they will.
Yeah, what I was talking about is mostly just being able to keep the defense honest. Sorry, Latte. Just by taking a shot just to take a shot sometimes. I really like that about your dad. It was just one of those things. Make them always have it in the back of their head type of deal. And we haven't done that for the most part, in my opinion.
I don't like doing this, but I'm going to give Stank a little credit. And I'd have to go watch film before I actually do this.
I love this.
I would love to talk to somebody that's watched enough film on us that knows what they're talking about, not just they watch film and then talk about it because they have no freaking clue what the coaching staff's actually trying to do.
We don't do that.
Are we being played differently? Are there too high safeties?
Oh, okay.
Is it 2-man under, which the Saints kill us with every year, and when you can't take a shot in that defense because you don't have a Gronk going down the middle to hit that seam? I'd love to watch enough film to know that. I don't. That would be interesting to see. Maybe that's part of what you're talking about, why we haven't taken as many. I think it's more of the continuity in the guys and having healthy bodies out there. By the way,
this often happens when you come on the show. You criticize me and then you agree with my takes. Every single show, I think you can go back and watch every single show we've ever recorded.
Shut
and
your
I'm always right.
Mute him.
I'm always right.
I'm
always right.
Mute him right now. Listen.
I'm also going to say something to Bucs fans that want to get on Byron Leftwich. This man has broke every record in your franchise history for 3 years. Nothing's changed.
With Jameis,
and then Tom crushed both of those. Every record offensively you've ever had. All of them.
It's not enough.
Calm down. It's 4 weeks, man. Like people calling for somebody's head that just won a damn Super Bowl. That's that well thought of throughout the league. Like there's being stupid and there's being spoiled and there's being whatever the hell that take is. Like calm down. I get some of it. Y'all want to bitch and get on Twitter about first down runs and whatever else. Have a little faith that they know more than you. I promise they do. But like some of this shit with Byron is getting a little old and pissing me off.
Michael Pless, because we keep getting the question about the offensive line. We can't take shots because the offensive line said pass protection is there when they avoid empty sets. They have the time to throw. And then the other question from Jonas Steckler was the question of the night. Jake, what did you do for Dad's 70th birthday yesterday?
Not a damn thing because I got my ass, had to stay in Arizona. So instead of coming and having a big party and a Ring of Honor ceremony and being down the field at halftime and watching my dad go in the Ring of Honor, it would be one of the greatest moments of my life. I didn't fly into town. I sat here and I texted him.
Shit.
None of us did anything for his big 70th birthday party.
What a shitty fucking family.
I'm sure he had a great crown, but we'll celebrate later when I get to see him.
You know what's funny is when you gave Stank credit, Callie Bucks said Stank don't even know why he's getting credit.
I know exactly why he got credit. I know exactly. Listen, Callie Bucks has been talking shit the whole show. That's fine.
That's fucking perfect.
Stank, and it was
like,
funny.
What, me?
Jake's like, I'm gonna give Stank some credit,
exactly
and
why.
I remember Stank going,
Huh? What?
Untrue.
What did I say?
It went over your head.
Part of the birthday question too is I don't think Dad wants to admit that he's 70, so I'm sure he was fine with not a lot going on.
Yeah.
Well, he's the fucking dopest 70-year-old on the planet.
For sure, but he ain't admitting to himself that he's 70 yet. I think he might be struggling with that one a little.
Well, Jake,
and
still like
I'm gonna button this up. I'm gonna button this topic up, but I think maybe what Sammer was trying to quantify or trying to get the point across is we all saw your dad in the Amazon special thing, and it was just moments or times. And I don't know, I'm not on the fucking sideline. I don't know fucking Byron like that, but you would just see him walk over, and it's like, hey, shot play right now, go. I got a gut feeling. It was like a feeling thing where it was like, I got a feeling, go. Now, maybe that's happening, maybe it's not, but I think that's what Sammer was trying to say. It was like,
I would say there's definitely credence to that, right? Todd's a defensive head coach. He's still very involved in what's going on. Larry Foote, Casey Rogers are doing a great job, but Todd still, that's his defense, right? He's involved in that. That was never his thing to go up and like take a shot. Like, I think that part of that is his development as a head coach. If he gets that feeling, like, let's go do that. Byron's got to get those feelings. And I think part of that philosophy of let's run it, let's play really good defense, let's be in game, let's win it in the fourth quarter. And I'm just saying that. I don't know that that's the philosophy. But yeah, I think there's definitely credence to a guy that's lived no risk it, no biscuit for a long time as a very successful offensive coordinator. If I got a feeling, let's take a shot. Or I saw the corner limping and Mike's going to run right past him. Or we're going to pull, we practiced this play all week, reverse pass, pump, double move, whatever it is. Let's take that shot now. We're saving it for the second half. Let's take it in the second quarter. I think there's probably some of that. And Byron needs to get into being comfortable enough to say no risk it, no biscuit himself and just let it fly.
But that's going to come with age, though. It's a bit unfair. I mean, I'm even, guilty of this. I'm critical of him, but it's one of those things you can't expect him to do that. What, year 3, year 4.5, 3.5, 4?
4, 3 and 4 games.
He's not BA. BA's done it forever. He's not Sean Payton, as much as I hate that motherfucker. And Mike McDaniel, for instance, for the Dolphins, he's been doing this shit forever. He has a feel for it.
Byron,
he's
Byron's
been doing it
got
behind
3
the
more
scenes.
years than Mike McDaniel's of calling plays.
Behind the scenes, apparently,
an offensive
he's been
coordinator
the guy.
in title, but he never called a play till he went to Miami.
But they've given him a lot of credit for what's happened behind the scenes, apparently, over the years. It's like
right, but he's never called a play. Byron
but
had a lot of
there's still
credit for
experience and
everything
feeling that comes with experience. I feel
My
like has
point is
some
the
credence
difference
to
of
it.
what you're seeing is, and it'll be interesting with Teddy this week. You guys know I like Teddy. I think Teddy played really good last week.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, healthy. They've been healthy every week. That's ridiculous.
Cheat codes.
You can get creative and put those guys in situations. What happens now that they've got 4 weeks of tape out there? When Tua's coming back, does Gesicki get more involved? Does the running game develop for them? We'll see. What McDaniels does. He's done a damn good job. Don't get me wrong, but he's getting a lot of credit. Byron's got 3 more years experience, and he played the game.
Correct.
He's a first-round pick at a high level. All of the stuff he did for Ben in all those years in Pittsburgh as a backup, he has droves of experience over a lot of these guys. And you're seeing a lot of these guys making stupid-ass mistakes as head coaches. They're play callers for the first time. Nathaniel Hackett's calling plays for the first time. O'Connell's calling plays in Minnesota for the first time. Now, they've been up and down. They've had some good stuff going on, but he's had a lot of their play calling is okay. How many guys are getting plays in late? Because it's the first time they've done it. You heard that?
Denver's bad, bro.
Yes, we don't have that issue.
But
we have a health issue. Byron will be just fine.
But I wasn't really talking about what he's done with Miami. I'm saying he's been in that room and understanding the flow of things behind Shanahan. He's understood the flow of that for years. And guys that are like Shanahan who have that understanding of that flow and how to sequence things and feeling it out. Like Sean Payton, we hate the fuck out of that guy. But the dude had feeling. BA had feeling when he was offensive coordinator.
Like, damn good.
There's stuff that just comes with
it.
What I'm saying is we're guilty of giving him expecting him to have this flow. Wait, that's going to come with time.
Wait a second. Hold on.
That's going to come with time.
He's been our offensive coordinator for 3 years. And
I'm going to disagree with you, Sammer, on this one. One, he's got more time with BA than McDaniels had with Shanahan.
So he should have more flow, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, he's been phenomenal for 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. He's already had success.
Top 5 offense.
3
years in a row.
He literally broke the franchise record for points 2 years in a row.
It feels up and down oftentimes, in my opinion.
Does, but
this is a different team. It's a different
more of a health
team.
issue, an offensive line issue with some young guys playing than it is anything else. And I think they will get that figured out, and they will have the nuances that they can moving forward as long as they got healthy bodies to do it.
Jake, I think what this comes back to is
get off the man's ass.
People
have way more leeway than the fans are giving him at this
People
point.
never gave him credit. They always gave your dad credit. Nobody really truly believed it was Byron calling plays.
It was.
I remember
the first
that.
guy my dad ever turned it over to actually call plays.
I remember that.
Absolutely. The day he got there in the interview, I'm going to turn this over to Byron. I don't want to call plays.
I don't.
Yeah,
think so,
I know that, but nobody gave that guy
believed
credit.
it.
No, and if it wasn't your dad getting the credit, it was Tom getting credit. Everybody shit on Byron. People have shit on Byron from day one. Let me
give Tom the credit because he's calling plays and it's all his shit from New England.
Yeah, they've given it to Tom.
Ridiculous.
Correct.
Yep.
Then what the hell are you blaming Byron now for?
I've never given the credit to Tom. Like I said, I'm guilty of being critical of Byron sometimes when not necessary. But I think
it's part of being a fan, whoever the offensive coordinator is, right? If things don't work,
it's one of those
you don't
things,
like the play.
But I think it's funny when you
block
contradict
the son of a
those
bitch that you could drive a Cadillac through, and if the running back bounces it and loses 2 yards, goddamn offensive coordinator ain't worth a shit. And they show the replay, and you're like, oh my god, you could have drove a freaking Mack truck through that damn hole. He missed it. It's not the offensive coordinator's fault.
It's execution. Like Pless pointed out in the chat that some of this is also the players need to execute, and you can drop the play. If they don't execute, you look like the dumbass at that point.
I think it's hilarious when I catch those people contradicting themselves. They're like, Byron's garbage, blah 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 blah. But wait, didn't you say a couple weeks ago that it's Tom Brady's playbook and he calls the plays? Because I'm pretty sure Tom has the ability to check or change the shitty play that you said he called. Yeah. So listen, Tom Brady says it, and it sounds cliche, and he says it every year. And your dad has said it, and Jason Light has said it. It's Stank just said it, which is what prompted me to say it. It's not the same team, guys. Stank, you got credit twice tonight. Wow. It's not.
I'm fucking smart.
It's not the same team. It's not the same team. It's not like just loading the disc of Madden in, and it's the same team, same line, same. Everything changes every year, and that's why it fucking hurts, and that's why it's so special, and that's why losing to the Rams that way gutted every fucking player on that sideline, because there's going to be different faces in the locker room next year. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same continuity, not the same chemistry, not the same rally cry. It's just fucking different every year. We're 4 fucking games in, so everybody fucking breathe and let them get their fucking roll going.
I get that everybody should feel entitled, spoiled, and have high expectations. Because losing the second round of the playoffs isn't good enough. It's win the damn Super Bowl again. We just did it.
17-0, goddamn.
I get that.
17-0.
I get that.
God.
But nobody's winning the Super Bowl this weekend.
No.
Bullshit.
Nobody. They don't give out quarter pole awards. They give out one award. That's Super Bowl championship. I came on the show and told you exactly what was going to happen the year we won the Super Bowl. We're going to struggle for a while. We're going to figure it out with a late bye. That's either going to kill us or it's going to be the best thing ever. We're going to come out of that bye. If we get hot and healthy, which we did, watch out. We rip off 8 straight. We got to get it figured out. We got to get healthy. You got to have that continuity and the same guys out there every week. We'll be just fine. These next 3 weeks are critical to put your foot on people's throat and act like you're the damn Bucs.
That's a deadly combo.
Hot and healthy. You played 4 brutal opponents to start the season. 2 on the road that you won and lost to at home.
Didn't people say at the beginning of the year before the season even started, "Oh, I'd be happy if we're 2-2." Like, look at the fucking schedule. And we should have won. We should have beat Green Bay.
The wanted to lose was the Chiefs because it's an AFC team.
I said 17-0, so I'm extremely disappointed. But I was going to go back and say one thing I have corrected myself on when it comes to the Byron Leftwich, criticism, is that Tom Brady is not just going to blindly follow a play that he doesn't like. He's Aaron Rodgers, all those guys. They're only going to run the plays that they like. So it's not like he's out there just toting the fucking company line and running shit he doesn't. It's the execution of it. So that I always go back to that. It's like if it's not a good play, I'm pretty sure it's not being run. So that just it's not an option that's happening out there. It's not a bad play. Tom is not letting that happen.
It's true, Sammer. And Big Fucking Cock in the chat says Byron and Tom have a great relationship. That's true, Big Fucking Cock. It really is. They have a great relationship.
Okay.
Listen, and also, Played Your Computer, he dropped a $20 super chat, and he said, late to jump on, but happy belated to the GOAT, Bruce. Thank you.
Thanks, Bladgy.
Plus also said again, just to end this right now, we can end this conversation, but he said it's part of fandom. Execution is key. If Lenny misses the hole, it's not the offensive coordinator's fault. It's just the approach thing for me. He can use more pass on early downs, and it will help efficiency going forward. Jake said that already. Yes.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And whether we're healthy or not, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think we need to get back.
What holes? What holes is he missing? That's what I want to know. I want to know what holes he's missing.
Stank misses
I don't see him.
Stank misses holes weekly. So
all the time.
All the film that you watch?
All the time. Stank misses holes all the time.
What do you? I've been grinding tape all day.
But because you're missing the holes.
Missing holes, buddy.
I still score.
All right, so Jake, what you're saying, it's going to be 44-10 this weekend. Is that safe assumption there on the score?
I'll go 31-17.
17. You think our team is going to be 17?
So wait, so what does Jake do, right? Because you're not calling plays there, but if you were there, Jake, you're putting Carlton on Drake London, you're putting Winfield on Pitts, pressing them,
I'm doing what we do: play man and blitz like a son of a bitch, and run blitz on early downs. You sell out to stop the run. You get hit with a play action pass, so be it. I don't think they can hit enough of them to beat us. That's what I'm doing. Be us.
Same thing next
week. Go
week
back to being us. I don't think we change anything. I don't think it's Carlton follows Drake London. Jamel's perfectly fine at covering Drake London. He's a rookie, good player, learning to become a good player. He doesn't scare me. I mean,
is Carlton
back to being us?
Pitt's the freak though. Although he hasn't done much, the freak. Are you putting Winfield, or you putting a linebacker on him?
Doesn't matter.
Both.
Both. Fuck it, just do what we do.
Just
Don't
depends
matter.
on what we're running on, what we're wanting to run on that play.
Marcus Mariota is throwing the ball.
To me, it's more offensively. We go back to what Pless is saying. Like, can we hit some 12-yard comebacks on one? Can we on first down? Can we run a little play action, get a tight end involved, then come back and run it? Throw a little bubble screen for 5 yards, run it for 3 yards on a second. Now you're 3rd and 2, not 3rd and freaking 10 or 12. And we've seen way too much of. Can we change a little bit of that stuff? Can we get back to who we are? Can we take some shots? Can we score 30 points with a game plan going in, not when it's a necessity because the game's getting out of hand early, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that for the next 3 weeks.
I kind of like when we come out in with tempo on the offense. I know we can't stay in tempo
But
the whole game.
you got to have your guys to do that. Like we did it in Dallas. We did it in the preseason.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, like, look, Dallas has proven to be a pretty legit team.
Yeah.
Their
Well, we all
defense
agree with that.
is
I mean,
legit.
Cooper Rush has won 3 straight.
Defense is good.
Man, and we kicked their ass in Dallas to open the season because we went in healthy with our guys with a nice game plan. We tempoed when we needed to. We weren't great in the red zone. We kicked too many damn field goals, but we kicked their ass. We just handily beat them. I think we just got to get back to being healthy and then figure out exactly who we think we are and then go put that on the field. I think we'll see that the next 3 weeks.
This isn't Michael Pless night, but I just don't know what this is. This is for me. This isn't for y'all or to answer his question. But what the hell is sales, Jake? I'm not a football coach, okay? I watch football, but I don't know that much. He said run sales all day. It's open every time. What the fuck is sales?
Sail route. So you're bending back out. You combo it with some other stuff, slant, a dig, whatever. He's right. But
Open all day. Okay.
we got to have the guys. Like not everybody on team can run that route. And there's plenty of that stuff that we watch that we need to incorporate. I think part of that self-scout. And I go back to, I think a lot of it is them feeling comfortable. And Tom, key here, the greatest of all time, still has to feel comfortable. And if he doesn't feel comfortable, he ain't throwing it whether it's open or not. And a lot of what Tom does is still pre-snap. So I agree with you. But if he doesn't think that sale is going to be there pre-snap or he doesn't trust the guy that's running it, he ain't throwing it anyway. So there's still part of that.
But what you're saying is Byron is calling shots and Tom's just not throwing.
And that's not what I'm saying. I will not be quoted for saying that, asshole.
That's the what he said.
That's what I took.
Asshole.
That's the way I took it.
Then he called you asshole.
God, you an
Listen,
asshole, dude. He does
that's-
not do
I
that.
better not see that shit reported on Twitter tomorrow that I said that.
Listen, it's not the first time, an Arians is cursed at somebody, bro. That's just kind of what they do.
That is what we do.
Hey, I'm gonna clip the back end of that where he said, "I better not see somebody post this shit," because that's not what he said.
I might post it. Listen,
I'm
the one
just
who takes the
gonna
clips
I'm
from the
gonna
show.
turn that into a GIF. You going asshole, 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 asshole.
And every time Stacks does an asshole.
Just a tweet and just boom, asshole. Just bang right in there. Man, I was gonna say, like, it feels like the offense just needs a couple of these games to where they start getting into a rhythm, and then that's when things start to kind of roll a little bit. Because remember the Chiefs last year? They had Tyreek and they still looked like they were out of rhythm, and then something happened. They go against, maybe mediocre defense, something like that, and they start to feel themselves.
Sammer.
They get a little bit of rhythm.
No, Sammer. What
We
happened
broke
was,
them for the most part.
Like
I
we
get it.
tweeted out early in the season, we broke them because
them.
we put out a blueprint and they were forcing him to take the stuff underneath and not do what he does, which is take the fucking shot plays over and over again.
But
So
offense is still got to get in a rhythm.
It took about a quarter of the season for the Chiefs
By the way,
to get rolling.
part
with
of
themselves.
this is we've played Dallas's defense, Green Bay's defense, which is they're giving up some running yards, but their secondary is ridiculous.
Saints defense.
The Saints defense, which friggin' owns us,
Three very good
put up some yards and put up points. And the Chiefs defense, which is playing pretty well. Chris Jones is a mother. He might be the best defensive player in football when he's healthy. He's obviously healthy. They got players. They're not a great defense, but Spags blitzes and has a lot of success against Tom. That's not easy for defenses to go play to start the year. I mean, the Falcons have some pieces, but they're not those guys. Neither the Steelers without T.J. Watt. I think we're going to be just fine. We just got to get going, and the biggest thing is having the continuity of healthy bodies.
Yeah, we got to start fast too.
That's big.
We have a rookie
We started
offensive
like
lineman playing his 4th game ever in the NFL,
Chris
and
Jones.
he's just going against a guy named Chris Jones, who makes fucking Pro Bowlers and vets look like shit at times, let alone a fucking rookie. So I think
And he
some of
faces
that.
Grady Jarrett this week.
I mean, he's going to go through the learning curve, obviously, just like Ali Marpet did, and Donnie did, and Tristan Wirfs did. Like, all those guys went through, and even what's his name? Now a Bengal. Can't remember his name. Don't care. Alex Kappa.
Kappa.
Like, they went through that learning curve, and, it sucks.
Let me ask
but
you guys this.
It's going to happen.
I was on 4 weeks ago, right? Now, all we talked about was this offensive line sucks and the national media, they're garbage and whatever else. We're 4 games in.
Not bad.
By the way, we had 3 left tackles play.
Yeah.
Correct.
Getting Donovan back is huge, regardless of what this fan base thinks about him. He's another underrated guy. What grade would you give him? I give him a solid B minus.
Oh, but I said
some guys have been up and down.
In my head immediately.
But the guys that filled in for Donnie, I mean, like I said, against these defenses and these pass rushers, I think they've been pretty damn solid. I think they're going to get better throughout the year. They got to stay healthy. But I mean,
but that was the first full game they played together. You know that, right? Because Donnie was injured second quarter or first quarter of the Dallas game. So it wasn't like he
went out later.
Later? No, I thought it was very early in the game.
But yeah, no, I mean that was and he's not 100%, but he's out there fighting and playing good.
But that's the first time we got all five of them.
The O-line, one of my favorite podcasters, we had him on the other day, old school, very knowledgeable. He likes to use the analogy that it's a dance, right? It's a bunch of dancing bears, and you have to have continuity. You have to know what the guy next to you is doing without having to ask, right? It's the same thing that we were talking about with Brady and the receivers and that chemistry and knowing what you're going to do before you do it. Same thing.
I think it's more important than them. Go back, our offensive line's been really good for a few years, but I think the biggest reason they were that good is because they all played every game.
Yeah.
We never really missed a lot of guys. Yes, Denny went in and played. We a couple of games here and there, but we played our 5 guys for 90% of the snaps for a few years. That is as important as the quarterbacks and receivers, or more important, in my opinion, those guys being out there. The checks, the twists, the stunts, all the stuff you're getting from a defensive line, those guys all got to be on the same page, especially when Tom Brady's your quarterback. This ain't Jalen Hurts back there.
Yeah, plus a tight end that stayed in there as well. So
2 rookies.
Factor that in. Yeah,
Rudolph hasn't been active. You got 2 rookies that are playing. That's your best bet to go out there. They're both going to get better.
How about Cole getting a fucking catch?
Yeah,
that was
big time catch, man.
Before we close this out, you brought
talking about a guy that's confident should be booming from that.
But before we close this out, Jake, you brought his name up, Kyle Rudolph. A lot of fans are asking, why did we sign this guy if he's not even really being used? Is it him? Is it the scheme? Is it the necessity of how the offensive line has kind of been injured? They've needed guys that are more blocking tight ends as opposed to guys like him who,
let's analyze this rationally.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. You know more than me on this kind of shit.
Because why did we sign him? One, he's a really good veteran player that's going to be great in that room for 2 rookies that you're going to have to count on.
Correct.
Brate does what he does, and Tom trusts him, but he's not an all-around tight end in this offense. You need a guy that's going to block. Coe's been a freaking road grader, and Otten's blocked his ass off. Been really good. They're both going to get better at that. They're better than Kyle at this point in his career. He had to play last week and was okay. But it's more of like having a guy like that in your room with nuances of playing. A guy that's a really good veteran player for a long time. He sees it different than Brate sees it. Brate can't talk to those guys about sticking your face in there, run this play, because he's never had to do that. He's always been the off tight end, more of a slot guy, that kind of stuff. I think it's as much for that, and then having a reliable guy that have to play if you need to, than anything else. We signed him cheap. Why did we even sign him? That's just a stupid-ass question. We're not signing him to replace Gronk. Nobody's replacing Gronk. Waller, Kelsey, Kittle, they're not replacing Gronk. Not with Tom. Like, that is irreplaceable. You got to get the production from somewhere else. And these young guys will get better throughout the season, but they're both willing to do it. And they're both, I think they were getting really creative there when we had our other pieces, moving Coe around in that H-back position, having them both out there together. I think you'll see more and more of that.
Yep, there you go, making my point again. We miss Gronk. There's no replacement.
I said no shit,
bitch. Dumbest fucking statement.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
We miss Gronk, Jay. No shit.
That's like saying New England misses Tom Brady. No shit.
No shit, bitch.
Okay. Might be obvious, but I'm
way to go out on a fucking limb, Stank. Not sure how you came up with that one.
Listen, it was obvious, but you just reiterated it, so I'm just saying,
It just gets obviously worse every episode.
Jake, eventually you are going to be the permanent member of the show. You know that, right? Like, just out of necessity. Like, we can't
afford
next man up, bro.
You can't afford that guy, bro. Did he just not go over his schedule for the next 8 weeks? He's going to be in fucking Dublin and fucking Japan.
Oh, yeah? Guess
He's going to Australia.
We will send you.
You can't afford that guy,
I
dude.
will send you to follow him, and you'll be his personal cameraman. You'll hold that fucking tablet.
Bro, I will have. Hey, Jake. I'm ready to quit. I'm ready to sell my business, bro. Let me know.
He can't even do that right because the camera's in fucking selfie mode 90% of the time.
Oh, dude, yeah, he can't. How is he gonna center somebody else? He can barely center him. God,
I only have one requirement. If he's my cameraman, you gotta wear shoes.
You gotta wear shoes, bro.
Sorry, Steak. Looks
Sometimes.
like, you're
boots.
completely
Like, tie 'em
not a
up,
part of
double-
the show at all now.
Double tie them tight, like around
Somebody-
your ankles.
Somebody asked earlier, Jake. I doubt, but you never know. I have to ask. Has there been any update? Have they given an inkling of an idea as far as when the Ring of Honor game might be? A window, maybe a couple of games that might be options.
Yeah, it could be all the way into December towards the end of the year.
Shit.
It won't. I mean, we go to Germany. We're only home for one more game in October. We're on the road, so yeah. I mean, it's looking like because then we're in Germany, then we're off. They got like one game in November that didn't work. I don't think.
Fuck.
So yeah, it'll be later.
I was looking forward to having a crown with you, bro. Fuck.
Oh, it's still gonna happen. He's going in one way or another.
Yeah,
Still
but
have
shit.
it.
I was kind of looking forward to being like early in the season, and every time I go to the stadium, I get to see it because that's gonna be pretty badass.
I will go to the stadium every week. I'll send Stank to the stadium every week from here on. Once his name's up there, and I'll have him send you a photo every single week.
And I gotta say, I love that it's
it.
going to be next to Rondé. That's
Yes,
That
that's
was-
fucking awesome.
that was pretty key.
That's awesome.
solid.
Hey,
Leo,
Leo. Oh,
Leo
yeah.
Giramala.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was just singing his name.
fucking dipshit. He
It's
$5
Leo
super
Giamatti.
chat from Leo
Giamatti.
Gallimara. Bucs fans overreacting 2-2 with this gauntlet is what most expected. I'm not mad. JV wide receivers and Packers games stop us from being 3-1. Chiefs are the Chiefs. Yep, agree. 100%.
That's
Look, don't get me wrong that I'm sitting here happy with 2-2. Like, I'm a rational person that's been around this a long time. That's what it is.
Mhm.
We should be 3-1. We should have beat the Packers, but I'm okay with 2-2. The sky is not falling. The biggest reason is being healthy. Like, we're going to be just fine, but I'm not happy with it. Like, don't just because I can be some. The funniest thing ever is that I get tweeted at and everybody's watching, like wanting their therapy session. I'm a freaking psychopath. Like, I'm the worst fan of all time. You guys still haven't watched a game with me. I am beyond obnoxious, beyond critical of everybody, and they're all family to me. Like, I'm an asshole about every play. I'm an asshole about games I don't even care about. Like, they don't even have us in it. Like, I'm an awful fan. So, like, that I'm the therapist is the funniest thing ever. But it's
Jake,
let's
Jake.
just think about it in a different way and be a little rational here.
Let us come out to Arizona for an away game that you're not going to. We're not going to be going to. We'll set up an entire fucking thing in your living room with the TV. We won't show the game, and we will.
Oh, we did a live
We
stream
will
of the game.
live
Yeah.
stream with you.
No, I'm
Why
not
not?
agreeing to this.
No.
You can get this man canceled.
No, because I do not want to see how bad I look. Of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, the way that it looks when it comes out of my. No, I'm obnoxious. It's awful.
We have Stank in a box on this show 3 times a week. All right, there's nothing you're ever gonna do or say that's gonna.
It's gonna be worse than that.
Close to as stupid.
Pretend
Really?
you're
I'm
going
the
to
only
get
one
3
I'm the only
hours
one
of my
making sense
dad
on the
yelling
show
at the
today.
officials,
Listen.
but that's me yelling at the TV in our
But
game.
that's gold, dude. That's
No,
what do you
that's
think
not
I do at a game? I told a fucking 7-year-old. I called him a
did.
motherfucker this past
did.
weekend. All right. So
He did. His mom was like,
don't
"Oh, dear
act
God.
like you're
Oh,
fucking
dear God."
terrible.
That's the stuff
Cursed
I'm
him out.
talking about. Stuff I can't come back from. I don't need video evidence of how bad it's been my whole life.
Hey, Sever,
really don't.
he's the president of the Arians Family
yes,
Foundation.
that too.
bro.
There is that
Yeah.
too, Pop.
All right, we'll put a mask over your face, so it cannot be confirmed nor denied that
Look,
that was
I will
Jake
agree with you
Arians.
that it would be great TV
Oh,
as long as I don't ever have to watch it. But I will not do it.
All right, so how about
You
this?
guys could come to Arizona anytime you want. Cell
Resign.
phones, be like
resign
getting on
for a
Jerry's
week.
bus.
Bro, I still want to come. I still want to come on
Cell phone goes to the
Christmas.
thing. Cell phone
These
goes to
these
the
motherfuckers want to be there for their kids and shit
Walk
on
in, put
Christmas.
your
I'm
cell
ready.
phone in the lockbox, and then we'll.
Did
just
you really
watch
just say
it and
that?
have fun.
You heard me. I said it.
Bro,
I want to go.
Hey,
I want to
listen,
be there
Jake,
for Christmas Day.
Listen to what I'm
and
saying.
you guys are like, oh, I
Jake-
have kids. I can't
Jake
go.
and BA and Shelby and Mama Arians would whoop my ass if I left my family to go watch them in Arizona and left my
They're
kids.
gonna have plenty more Christmases,
would
bro. How
literally
many
whoop
how
my
many other Christmases do we have to get the opportunity to sleep at the Arians' house, wake up
You ain't sleeping
Christmas
at my house
morning,
for Christmas?
open
Wow.
open
He's
presents?
like, "Sleeping at my
What are you
house, bitch."
talking about, bro?
Stay.
Come out
Do
for
you not
a
remember
random away
Shelby?
game.
Shelby came on the show and said we can sleep over
No,
Christmas. We can
No,
wake up hot
No,
cocoa.
she didn't say that. She didn't say
That's
that
what
to
I heard.
you.
That's what I
You
heard.
don't want to
Come for an
barefoot
away
dude in
game,
your
you can
house,
stay
bro.
at the crib. We'll watch games for 12 straight hours, but it ain't gonna be Christmas. My house is full.
Bro, I'm gonna be, no
what
footy
is,
pajamas. I'm gonna run out in the morning.
No, you're gonna be the snuggie with the feet.
no.
Button up in here.
The reverse
Are
snug.
you about to end the show? Are you about to end the show, Sammer?
Okay, whatever. Don't matter.
I want to do a little cool thing because Jake is very knowledgeable across the league, and we've done enough talking about the Bucs. We gave not necessarily predictions. We'll give those on Fan Friday.
Wait. Before you do it though,
I gave a prediction.
Pelagic made a really good point. last Buccaneer related deal. The Monday Night Saints game would be a perfect time to have your dad's name hung up in the fucking Ring of Honor.
Agree.
And have him come out there on the fucking stage, Jake. Grab that motherfucker, and right at the end of his speech, whatever the fuck he says, he goes, "Fuck the Saints." Just like that, bro. The whole fucking place would explode. Fireworks everywhere.
It would be great. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it would be.
I'll pay for fuck the Saints to be fireworked into the sky, dude. I'll get arrested because that's like not allowed to happen in that what do they call that? Private airspace.
Sammer,
but hey,
you and explosives that go in the air
near an airport over a stadium. Bad idea, dude.
Bad idea, bro.
Yeah, it's like Heinz Field from Dark Knight. Is that what you guys are picturing right now?
Yeah, bad idea, bro. Jake,
yeah,
I'd be interested to hear your, snapshot, quick analysis of the AFC. What do you think of the Baltimore? What do you think of the Bills? Who do you think is going to come out of there? And how do you think both conferences? How do you think they're shaping up?
I think the Bills are legit. They've got young corners that got to step up before they get their stud back. Losing the safety, Micah Hyde was big. Jordan Poyer's still a stud, but they got pass rushers. You know what Josh Allen is. I think they're the class of the AFC. I don't think the Chiefs are far behind, but I don't like their outside receivers. They're going to have to figure out other ways to manufacture traditional offense, which doesn't go hand in hand with the Chiefs. The AFC's still pretty loaded. I think Bengals are about to turn it around. They look like they're kind of figuring things out. It'll be interesting to see who else comes out of it. I thought Indy was going to be good. They look terrible.
Really bad.
The Chargers are the Chargers. They get hurt. They got a bunch of guys going out. They just gave up a 20-point lead to the Texans this weekend and won, but they don't look like world beaters. Baltimore's pass defense is a real problem. I saw a tweet today. They've only trailed for 14 seconds and they're 2-2. They gave up a 20 and a 23-point lead in the second half, and one of them was in the fourth quarter, and you lost. That's a major issue. Rashad Bateman not being able to play, if he's out, he's been really good. Their run game hasn't been great. They got a bunch of injuries at running back. I don't think they're the answer there. I think Cincinnati's still the class of that division. It'll be interesting. The NFC, I picked the Niners to win that division. I think they might be the only team from the NFC West to make the playoffs. I think the Rams have serious problems with that offensive line. It cannot be Stafford and Cooper Kupp only. Yeah. Whatever Cam Akers did to Sean McVay blows my mind. Darrell Henderson's a good player, but they've been a smash mouth running team that's play action off of that for 3 years. They can't run it. They can't pass protect. Their defense is overrated. It's going to be interesting to see if they can turn it around.
Super Bowl hangover.
Packers, I think, are going to get better throughout the year. These young receivers are going to come on. They got to stay healthy. Aaron's going to get chemistry with them. They scare me a little bit. Vikings been really good. I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs. Dallas is what they are. We know that. But if Philly stays healthy, I was not a huge. I like Jalen Hurts, the kid, the leader, all that I love. I was not a big fan or a believer that he could be this good of a passer. He's thrown in tight windows. Now they've run a very unique offense for 4 weeks. A lot of play action out of shotgun, a lot of rollouts. A lot of open guys. He's throwing to tight windows, but they're open guys. Now that they put that on film, how good will they be? Offensive line's great. Defensive line's great. Bradbury is one of the biggest additions in the offseason nobody's talked about. You go Bradbury on the other side of Darius Slay, they got 2 shutdown corners. That defense is legit. I think they're here to stay. I think they were that young team that we beat the shit out of in the playoffs last year that we probably don't want to play in the playoffs this year.
Bucs Eagles playoff game? Yeah.
But what do you think? But Jake, the Eagles have played a pretty soft schedule, man. That's the only.
They have, but they've been damn good, man. Jacksonville is pretty freaking good.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick is a beast.
They really are. I mean, they had a bunch of sacks, 4 fumbles on sacks, an interception. They haven't played the big dogs, but they've been damn good. Look, they've done what we need to do the next 3 weeks. That's go be who you are and step on people's throats, kick their ass.
Beat the team
they've done that.
To beat. Yeah.
It's still the NFL, man. I know they haven't played a great schedule, but they've looked damn good doing it.
But did they have one game that was a shootout?
The team they brought to Tampa last January.
The Eagles?
The Eagles had one game where it was a shootout, I believe. Was it where they barely beat the Vikings?
No, they've blown everyone out, bro. They've barely scored in the second half because they've blown people out so much.
No, you're right, Sammer. You're right. They played the Lions in week 1, but they were winning by 25, and the Lions scored some late stuff. So it looked like a shootout. They only won winning by 3. Their defense gave up a bunch, but it was like one of those times where you're desperate and you're throwing it all over the place. You got nothing to lose.
Okay.
But they were up by like 20 in the second half. So that's the game you're talking about. They're legit. They're not the team that they brought to Tampa last January. But it'll be interesting. I mean, I think the Broncos got serious issues.
Really
They're not scaring anybody.
That's right.
Russ went from the Seahawks to the Seahawks, in my opinion.
That's right.
It looks the exact same, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you have weapons with no offensive line. And
It's like he's still running for his life.
Like Tennessee is well coached, man. I got a lot of respect for Vrabel because they're not as talented as they are, and they just keep winning games. Like, they're not capable of blowing anybody out. Now Treylon Burks is going out. But, I mean, Tannehill's played pretty good. They're just well coached, man. Jeffrey Simmons, dude from Mississippi State, their defense is an absolute freaking monster. Like, he's a stud. But don't be surprised Jacksonville sneaks around and wins that division.
Jacksonville's playing really fucking good.
Coaching
and I'd like
matters.
to take a moment to give myself my flowers because I said it on Twitter. I said it on the show. I've said it ad nauseum at fucking UPS and to everybody that I got a chance to say it to coming into this year. They kept saying, "Oh, the Rams are gonna." I'm like, the Rams lost a lot of fucking depth in the O-line in the offseason, and Whitworth, who's a fucking Hall of Famer. Oh, they're gonna be fine. I'm like, all right. They're not gonna be the fucking same on both sides of the ball, by the way, because they lost Von Miller. No, they're gonna be fun. Okay, and here we are.
Niners were toying with them, dude, the other night.
The Niners are fucking really good.
So here's the thing with the Niners, though. Like, you get Jimmy G against the Broncos, who was okay at best.
Yeah.
Liability more than – and the other night you get Jimmy G, the world beater, who's throwing those freaking 15-yard digs of those receivers. Now, Debo's catch and touchdown, which is as great as it was almost a pick six.
Yeah,
it's still Jimmy G. That when you get into the playoffs and you're playing teams like us that are healthy, playing those Eagles that we're talking about, he's still going to be a liability. I don't mean he's taking them to NFC Championship games, he's taking them to Super Bowl, but them as a collective have done that.
I'm talking more of their defense.
I still think they're better off with him than they are with Trey Lance this year. Trey Lance did not look ready to play. And yeah, I know he played in the rain and whatever else. He did not look ready to play. He's not as polished as Jimmy G is going to be, especially when you're talking about pre-snap, coming out of the huddle with two plays, checking to the right play, all that kind of stuff that Jimmy knows how to do. But they're going to be dangerous, man. The defense is legit. It all comes down to we're 4 weeks in, whoever stays the healthiest, whoever gets the healthiest.
Well, you don't want to be healthy in week 4 and hitting your stride in week 4 and not hitting it in week 15, 16, 17.
We do because we haven't had it yet. I'd love to see us get healthy and get our stride and get going. Because after these three, you got the Rams and the Ravens.
Yeah.
Rams, at home.
Ravens. Yeah.
Prime time. Then you're heading to play the Seahawks. Coming out of the bye week. I mean, you got that 6-game stretch. I'd love to see us get healthy, get hot, get on a roll, and then go into that bye week and then get healthy again coming out of it. I mean, to me, it's a key time for this team to figure out their identity and get hot.
Jake, we didn't lose a single game after the last time we lost to the Chiefs in the regular season. So I fully expect this to happen again. Okay? I fully expect us to go undefeated from here on out because the Chiefs beating us causes us to fucking just win.
It's tradition, yeah.
It's how it works. Yep. All right?
Didn't we lose to the Rams after we lost to the Chiefs?
No. We won the Super Bowl that year.
We were undefeated after that game, sir.
We won the Super Bowl.
Lose a single game after that.
He's talking about the Super Bowl year where we lost to the Chiefs in the year. Yeah.
Did we lose to the Chiefs and then the Rams and then the bye week?
No, it was Rams, then Chiefs.
Rams, then the Chiefs, then demolished the rest of the fucking league, including the Chiefs.
Jake, this is my last one, and I'm good, bro. Appreciate you, obviously, and your time and stuff. Lamar Jackson, uniquely, is it personnel on the other side of the ball? Like, I know we have the personnel, we have the linebackers. Do you Derek Brooks him like we used to do with Michael Vick? Like, what, you just keep a spy on him? Like, how do you defend a guy like that?
He's throwing the ball too, Latte. He's not just running.
I know.
He's progressed as a thrower this year. Andrews is a beast. Bateman was the key. Duvernay's been pretty solid. They haven't run it that well. He's run it that well. He's been an absolute freak. He's doing everything. But it's one of those times, like, how much can he actually do? And if you don't have that, Bateman was turned into a 1 and looking like a real receiver. A foot injury, man, that we talk about it all the time. You guys laugh. I'm like those Liz Franks. You start throwing that word out there. Toes, they linger. He misses a week. If he's not the same guy he was for the first 4 weeks, it could be tough because Andrews isn't enough. I don't think they have enough.
Stank, you have any insight on the foot injury source?
The foot injury.
We know he has a big. We discovered on our way to Dallas that he has a massive foot fetish. He told one of the ladies on the flight.
I don't want to know.
But he has insight to feet. So Stank is our foot reporter. Stank,
Going live to our foot reporter.
Yeah.
Go.
What do we need to know about Bateman's foot?
Listen, he's got weak feet, man. He wears shoes too often. It happens a lot. These guys are prime. They're athletes. They take care of their body. They train every part of their body except for their feet. You got to do toe exercises. You got to splay your toes. You got to move them. You need splay. Yeah, you spread them apart like this. You got to do that with you right now. Everybody watching, you guys take your toes and splay them. Spread them apart. Yeah, try to move them individually.
That's incredibly
okay?
hard.
Somebody Google if that's a word, actually.
Look it up.
Poppy, to your point, Lamar's making himself a shitload of money.
He bet on himself. He's gonna make a shit. But listen, I talked to I had a conversation with certain people
in Tampa.
Like, yeah, the Ravens are still in control. They're probably gonna fucking tag him, and they'll probably tag him again.
Oh, they could tag him for
they can tag him for the next 2 years.
An option.
Yeah.
Look, if the rumors are true, and he said they were, he turned down $230 million or something.
Jesus.
And like he wanted the whole thing guaranteed. He wanted Deshaun Watson's deal, which that was a stupid deal to go after. Go after everybody else and be the highest paid. Like,
why do the Browns do that?
By the way, agents exist for a reason. Representing yourself in this situation is not. But betting on yourself's fine.
He wins MVP.
Representing yourself, I'm not a big fan.
Okay, but Jake, but how did fucking Cleveland give that deal to Deshaun Watson? How?
They're Cleveland.
How?
It's what I've learned, Latte. It depends on the owner and how much money they physically have to be able to put it in.
But I know that because some owners are cash rich or cash poor.
But I'm pretty sure other owners hate them.
Fucking deal. It's still a stupid deal.
I would bet other owners are like, "What the fuck are you guys doing out there in fucking Cleveland? This is fucking this is dumb."
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
You can see where I'm going to dinner, so let's wrap this up.
All right, let's go. Let's go. And just make sure you remind her.
I obviously got better shit to do.
Latte and myself are coming for the sleepover and all that stuff. We will not bring Stank. We'll make sure that.
What? No, I'm there, dude. Christmas
bring him in the foot covered snuggie, and we're good.
Listen, I didn't want to do this. I really didn't, but it needs to be done. Jake told me I was green lighted, bro. So Sammer, you though, Stank, you're just not, bro. Pops is like he's weirded out by you, bro. Like,
what?
Barefoot thing,
dude?
Well, you're not coming with Pops is here. Christmas is out.
Mama told me I was more than welcome to show up for dinner any moment. So
is that why she unfollowed me on Twitter?
Yeah, you've never been invited to dinner.
What?
All right, cut the show. Jake's got to go. Later.
All right, Jake, thank you so much.
Peace.
Go Bucs. Wow,
go Bucs.
Really run out of here.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 on a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a